Some farmers are feeding candy to cows. Corporations claim it's about cutting food waste, but the practice might be more about their profits. It's about cutting food waste, but the practice might be more about their profits. Though Americans spend about $4 billion on candy for Valentine's Day and over $11 billion on treats for Halloween, there remains a notable surplus of sweets in the U.S. And some of these excess treats are being sold to meat and dairy producers to be added to animal feed. While the practice of feeding candy to cattle has been going on for years, the agriculture and candy companies have more recently been reframing this as upcycling and a sustainable way to curb waste that would otherwise go to landfills. But the true story is a bit more complex. Feeding candy to livestock began as a cost-saving measure during times of drought when corn prices spiked. According to the livestock industry, candy can replace corn as a source of sugar in animal feed. However, some critics argue that it introduces nutritionally empty, chemical-laden sugars into livestock diets, potentially undermining animal health. While companies like Cargill and Hershey present this as an environmental solution, experts suggest that the real problem is overproduction, specifically driven by the commodification of corn and the production of high fructose corn syrup. Corn is heavily subsidized in the U.S. and is used in many processed foods, including chocolate and candy. The agri-food industry is continually seeking profitable ways to manage excess corn. And because corn syrup is so cheap, there's little risk to candy companies that overproduce, especially when animal farmers are there to pay for it. Almost sounds like reducing waste, right?
She just got done saying corn syrup's so cheap, but yet candy's so fucking expensive, right?
The agri-food industry is continually seeking profitable ways to manage excess corn. And because corn syrup is so cheap, there's little risk to candy companies that overproduce, especially when animal farmers are there to pay for it.
It's so cheap, but yet
Almost
candy's
sounds
so
like reducing waste, right? But really, a more sustainable option would be avoiding the excess production to begin with. Having programs like this one as a fallback may be quelling motivation to better measure and cut that food waste. Ultimately, Tamara Soma, research director of the Food Systems Lab at Simon Fraser University, explains that without the option of using animals to absorb surplus candy waste, we would be able to question why cows would ever need to eat highly processed candy, question why there's so much waste to begin with, and be pushed to seek better solutions.
And then beef is true to the roof. Beef is literally true to the roof. I was at Walmart yesterday. Fucking Walmart. You would think their damn meat department would be everyday low prices. Not the last 4 years or so, especially on the Beijing joke burden, but even this year. Tree ribeyes, I think they're ribeye steaks. I put it in my video, but that's on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, my YouTube channel. I did a long video of us looking around the prices at Walmart. $65 for tree steaks. It's like a family pack, and it was ribeye. I believe it was ribeye, if I remember correctly. $19.99 a pound, or something like that, or $20-something, $20.91 a pound, or something like that. Tree steak, $65. That's fucking insane. It's insane. They're pricing us out of beef as they feed our cows fucking candy. Cows not supposed to eat corn, and they're quaxinating them. I remember watching this Val Kilmer documentary. I think it was like around 2005 or so, and it was about them feeding corn to cows. And they opened up this one cow in like a round hole about this big, and they put like a plastic insert in there, and then the guy puts on his glove, and he sticks his hand literally in one of the cow's stomachs, and pulls out the corn because the cow's not digesting or something like that. They're feeding them crap. They're not even grass-fed, and if you're going to get grass-fed, you got to pay out the wazoo even more. And then now they're feeding them candy. Cockamamie excuses. Oh, well, there's a drought. That's why we don't have feed for them as much, so now we got to feed them candy. The leftover candy. The leftover candy that they couldn't sell during holidays like Halloween because the price is so fucking jacked up. Have you seen the prices of candy? Like a bag of candy? Skittles or whatever? It's through the roof. And then you get these little, remember fun-sized chocolate candy bars in a bag? They'd be a decent size. Now they're like really small. It's ridiculous where we're at. But there you go. They see this as sustainable. Feeding our... The agriculture and candy industries see this as sustainable, a way to curb waste that would otherwise go to landfills. Would you rather the candy go to landfills or go in your fucking cow that you're going to eat? So now there's people out there that are not only eating candy, but when they go to eat beef, they're going to be eating more candy. Because the cows ate candy. It's ridiculous. Oh, God. Okay. Get me off this ride. Oh, man. And here's something else that I want to mention. Considering animals, since they love our animals and they want to help our animals, but meanwhile they're feeding them candy, giving them vaccines, mRNA this, fucking damn, feeding them corn when cows can't digest corn. But what about the ostriches? I mentioned this a while back. This family in British Columbia, this family-owned farm, Universal Ostrich Farms in British Columbia. Yeah, you, all the ostriches are just gone. Is Al Qaeda up there? Al Qaeda? They waging a jihad on fucking ostriches? No, but might as well be. Let's take a look at this. I want you to see this because this is bullshit. It's still in the news cycle and it has to be shouted from the rooftops what they're doing. Shots ring out as Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia. Well, at Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia. Because these bastards that are killing the cows, they want to inoculate or depopulate the world. They're all about getting rid of God's creatures. That's it. Get rid of it. They want fucking human Borgs. What was the word? I mentioned it several years ago during the scamdemic. Homogenesis? Homo Borgus? They want cyborgs out of people, basically robots. They want to turn us into robots, mindless bots, transhumanism. They want us to friggin' date bots, right? That's why they keep pushing these robots for the lonely men and all this. And well, you don't need a real pet Fido. You could get this robot pet Fido. How about Walmart having a patent on robotic bees as they destroy our bees and give them Alzheimer's with the chemtrails, right? They're all about destroying what's natural, what's good, what God created, and then either replacing it with their version, with the satanic version, robots, or trans this and trans that, or just not having it at all. I mean, they want to get rid of most of us, right? And the rest of us, anyone who's survives the mass genocide that they attempted in 2020, and that's not the only time, but they really want to get rid of all of us, and whoever's left on Earth, 500 million or less, well, they'll just, put you in 15-minute stack them and pack them cities and pretty much try to turn them into mindless robots. But let's take a look.
After 6 o'clock Pacific time last night, about a 30-minute period, our CBC reporters at the scene heard multiple rounds, about 5 rounds of about 12 shots each at the Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. Shortly before the shots were heard, they saw this scene of the floodlights coming on in the area that illuminated this pen that had been built by the floodlights coming on in the area that illuminated this pen that had been built by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, made out of straw bales to sort of pen these birds in. They say the shots that they heard were coming from inside the enclosure. Reporters also heard a drone flying above.
Shots were fired inside this ostrich pen, this big ostrich pen. 300 plus reportedly healthy ostriches. Shots were fired. Was it vaccine shots? Well, they probably got their quack. Maybe not. Maybe they didn't get the vaccine. This is a family-owned ostrich farm. But real shots were fired, like bullets. That's what I'm gathering right here. Someone was literally shooting ostriches, killing them, culling them. Was it Al Qaeda? No. Was it a Mexicano cartel? Well, who was it? Your friendly Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Yeah. CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, was culling them, all in the name of public health. Sound familiar? This shit's gotta stop. This fucking shit's gotta stop, man. It really does. I am so... Our world has been so hijacked by these evil bastards and all these agencies and government seats and all this, and even the police departments, right? Your order followers out there, your New World Order cops. Can't wait to give you the beatdown. Hijacked, killing this, killing that, maiming this, maiming that. False flag after false flag. Divide and conquer bullshits. All their bullshit agenda. They could take all their bullshit agendas and shove it up their asses. We're sick of this. We're sick of it. people are increasingly getting sick of a lot of things. They're getting increasingly sick of the healthcare system, put that in quotes. They're canceling the health insurance because it's through the roof, and they're sick of it. They're sick of the deductibles, and they're just leaving the health. They're just canceling their healthcare plans. They're getting tired of so many facets of our world, and waking up to the fact that it's rigged against us. It's a scam. Our world's been hijacked by all these fucking pieces of crap. You're going in there and killing 300 ostriches in the name of some kind of bullshit. What is it, a virus? Because I mentioned that. I went over this. Now, let me clarify this. I covered an article a couple times this year. And I think it was in Fast Read Headlines, so maybe you didn't hear it or didn't pay attention. But I was kind of pissed off in that. They killed 300 ostriches. And I think it was this farm, okay? But in the article, or the several articles that I came across concerning this earlier this year, or whenever it was, within the last year or so, when this happened, it didn't mention anything about the ostriches were killed with like gunshots. In the name of public health, based on 2 allegedly positive PCR tests pulled from dead birds almost a year ago, that was the one, almost a year ago, 300 reportedly healthy birds have now been shot dead and a family's livelihood destroyed. They destroyed this family's farm, their fucking livelihood, in the name of some kind of bullshit PCR test. False reading, there are no viruses, but they're killing. There are no viruses, but they're injecting. There are no virus, and they're hoaxing. And they want to lock you down, they want to kill the birds, and they want to kill you. Go look in the mirror. This family's all for nothing. For nothing. For nothing. There's no viruses. They're healthy. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Oh, go get this shot here. Go get the shot because of COVID. There was no COVID. There are no viruses. The good doctors have come out, and they've said it. They've proved it. And I believe it 100%. Who are you going to believe? Someone that's going to risk life and limb and their profession to come out and explain to you there are no viruses? Germ theory is just that, a theory? You going to believe them, or you going to believe these piece of crap public health officials that are using PCR tests and shooting ostriches and doing all this shit to people with their quack-scenes, fear-mongering and lying to them? Who are you going to believe? I'm going to believe the good doctors. There are no viruses. I'm going to believe the good doctors. Germ theory is just that, a theory. All right? We didn't go to the moon. We're being sprayed like bugs. Our world is flat, and we have a dome over us, okay? There are no other galaxies. A lot of things, just about everything they've said is fucking lies. Lies, lies, lies. Yeah. This pisses me off, because this could be anybody. This could be you if you had a farm or whatever. How many livelihoods have been destroyed? How many military servicemen and women left the military because they didn't want to take the mandatory vaccines? How many? They are fucking with us so many different ways. So many different ways. Public health official. What an oxymoron. What a contradiction. Fucking.
That it was moving ahead with the, quote, complete depopulation and disposal of the ostriches. Hundreds of birds at the farm are subject to a cull order after that lengthy legal battle ended yesterday. The Supreme Court declining to hear an appeal to save the flock from the cull. This case attracted international attention. It continues to. The cull was ordered by the
Do those ostriches look like they are sick? Are they going around going... Do they look like they? If these ostriches were to be sick, or ever were, what did you put in their bodies? Vaccines. But these ostriches are healthy. Just like the sheeple that were out there, they were perfectly fine, but they believed the lie. They believed COVID certificate of Vax ID was a real thing. And so they rolled up their sleeves, took the vaccines, and then they got sick. What did you put in your body? And then they couldn't put 2 and 2 together. I was perfectly fine before, took the vaccine, now I don't feel so good. I got blood clots. I got toibo cancer. They don't put 2 and 2 together. You could sit there and go, well, what retard? Well, branch Covidiot, how was your health before you took the vaccine? And they'll say, well, it was good. I felt great. I was good. No problems at all. What happened after you took the vaccines? Well, I got this ailment. I got that ailment. Well, it's the, don't you think it's the vaccine? Oh, no, it couldn't be the vaccine. It couldn't be the vaccine. This is how stupid these people are. You could connect the dots, color in the picture, show it to them, the big picture, and they still won't fucking believe it.
FIA last December, after this flock was detected to be positive for avian influenza. It's about 300 to 330 birds in total that would be part of this cull. They believe crews from the CFI...
police are there. The fucking police are there. This is your New World Order police are there to make sure these motherfucking ostriches are murdered. All right? That they're murdered. Because that's what they're about. Killing. Let's if you're new to the channel, I'm going to say something that if people who have been my subscribers for a long time already know. This illustration. Now, listen. Here's their logic. If 2 birds register positive for the fake avian flu, they're not sick. It's just the PCR test said, well, you know, it's positive. 2 birds. Let's say the avian flu was real, which it's not. Well, let's say it is. Okay? The birds are perfectly fine. With the positive test. Here we go again, just like with the stupid COVID. Well, you got your PCR test said positive, even though you feel healthy and good. So therefore you're sick and we have to quarantine you. Same shit, only we're doing this to animals. Let me ask you this. If little Johnny and little Susie comes home and they don't feel good, that's legit. They don't feel good, their body's purging toxins, we call it the flu or under the weather, under the chemtrail weather. You know, what do you do? Do you cull little Johnny or Susie coming home from school? Mommy, I got sniffle, I don't feel good. Mucus coming out and shit and spitting up phlegm. Do you cull them or coddle them? Do you, send them to the room and you'll give them chicken noodle soup and stuff like that? Or do you get rid of them? Do you get rid of the whole family because one person in your family doesn't feel well or has a faulty PCR test? This whole thing is insanity. It's insanity. They did this with the chickens. That's why chickens went up to fucking eggs went up to like $7 a dozen, even higher, Still, nobody gets it. I can't say that. More people are getting it. More people are realizing the bullshit, but not a whole lot of calling us out. And notice you got the NWO police right there, ready to make sure that the ostriches, these perfectly healthy ostriches, are going to be put down. I'm biting my tongue because I could really let the words fly. I'm pissed. You should be pissed too. And you got order followers right here, making sure these Canadian police are going to make sure that this family complies and make sure they don't resist the killing of their livelihood and their animals.
Went in hazmat suits, started to try to round up the birds yesterday using those straw bales to create that enclosure. Our colleagues say that these straw bales are in the way of them really getting a good sense of what has been going on there. It's difficult to see, but the farm owners are on social media saying that the shots have indicated that the cull has begun. We don't have confirmation of that from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Supporters had also been setting off firecrackers in an attempt to sort of spook the birds and get them to run and scatter. The CFIA has not said how the cull would take place. They said it would be humane and done with veterinary oversight.
I guess shooting them is humane. They're not shooting them in the head, are they? Those little bitty heads are like... Because the ostriches are moving around. They got these heads about that big. You gonna tell me they got marksmen out there going, I'm gonna shoot them in the head? Shoot them, they gotta be shooting them in the body. That doesn't sound too humane to me. Shooting them... None of this is humane. Picture the ostrich's little head. And then, they're going around, they're trying to corral them with hay bales and all this shit and scare them into a certain area. But the head, there's still, ostriches are going to be moving around. Picture trying to shoot that little bitty head. Moving over here, moving over here. It's ridiculous. How humane is it? They shot them, they had to shoot them in the fucking body. And these ostriches had to bleed out a violent, horrible death. That's the way I see it. And I don't think it was instant.
The owners insist that the birds are now healthy and that they could be potentially used for research in, using their antibodies to prevent avian flu. This professor of veterinary medicine says due to regulatory requirements, the cull is in fact necessary.
From the time they were infected, like 11 months ago, to today, they've been exposed to outside. And right now in BC, we have several farms infected with this virus. So
he said they've been exposed to outside. What does that mean? What does that mean they've been exposed outside? They were outside in the farm. They were outside under the chemtrailed sky. Maybe if you had an ostrich with the sniffles, maybe you should look at zip plane. Well, those motherfuckers spraying on all of humanity and all of God's creation. All right? Listen to what he said. They were exposed to the outside. Ooh, my God, they went outside and acted like ostriches. Listen to this.
To today, they've been exposed to outside, and right now in BC,
They exposed to outside. That's the reason why to cull them. Can you imagine this? Anybody catch that? Am I hearing things wrong? Oh my God.
we have several farms infected with this virus. So it's in the environment, and the fact that they're not sick doesn't mean that they're not healthy carriers.
I'm over this bullshit. You're a carrier of this, carrier of that, but you're not sick. We're over this shit. This is the same shit you did with COVID. Oh, you got asymptomatic, but yet you got COVID. You got certificate of Vax ID, but you're asymptomatic. How stupid are people out there? You're not people, you're sheeple. And when I say you, it's EWE. You little sheep out there are stupid. Damn dumb branch COVIDians. Retards. COVIDiots. Cult of COVIDian. COVID cult. That's why I call you branch COVIDians. And that's also why I call you COVIDiots. Because you're an idiot to believe COVID's real, and you're in a cult if you believe it's real. You're a branch COVIDian, and you're a COVIDiot at the same time. Alright? Alright? This is all a hoax. This is bullshit. They're real healthy, but just because they're healthy, they were a carrier. They were a carrier. I'm sick and tired of this carrier shit. I got your carrier right here. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Killing ostriches. I read a statistic a long time ago. It probably doesn't hold up now, but that the ocean had like way more wildlife, like way more sea life than there are animals on land animals. And yet, they're killing constantly our land animals, whatever we got left. And of course, they're overfishing the seas. They're going after everything. After everything. They are lying. 2 fucking PCR tests. They want to, all this hoopla over 2 PCR tests with a false positive. And this is what they're doing. Oh, well, sorry, Farmer John and Mrs. Farmer John. We just stuck this PCR test into the ostrich's nostril, little beak right there. We pulled it out, and well, it says positive. Well, I know the ostrich is healthy as a horse and strong as an ox. We get that, but the PCR test that the creator, I think it was Carrie Mullis, said you could find any fragment and amplify it and find anything you want. It's not meant for viruses. It's not meant to be used for this purpose. Yeah, well, anyway, don't worry about that part. Yeah, it's positive. So, you know what? We're going to have to, go ahead and kill all your ostriches. Oh, you're going to try to go through the court and then sue us for trying to kill your ostriches? Well, good luck with that. A few moments later. Ka-pow, pow, ka-pow, pow, ka-pow, pow, pow.
understand the current strategy of eradication, and we need to go with that right now. But I think we need to look at other ways when we have very unusual situations like the ostriches.
What's so unusual about it?
We know
you
this
used a fucking fake ass test, a bullshit test. 2 ostriches were positive, healthy. All of them are healthy. Fake, false positive. What's this unusual circumstance that they speak of? How does someone who's just, just spends time researching and analyzing, looking at this, looking at that, looking at this, looking at that, figure this out? along with quite a few others, of course. But yet you got these experts, these so-called health authorities. They don't know no better. Bullshit. Either that or they're that damn dumb. They're just. This is why order followers are dangerous. They don't think. They're like robots. They don't think. They go, oh yeah, PCR test, bad. It's positive, so we got to kill all your ostriches. Oh yeah, we got to lock down the whole world because of a couple of sniffles and some scamdemic cases. It's ridiculous, man. We're not going down this road again, mofos. Give a shit what you say. What kind of damn shit is out there? We know the gig is up. If people start really getting real sick, we know that we're being sprayed like bugs. We also know there's a lot of toxins in food and people are eating them and not reading the labels. A lot of the population is sedentary and overweight, which contributes to illnesses, and a lot of the population took their fucking quaxines. In fact, these trolls on
Been an emotional situation for the farm owners who say some of the birds have been with them for decades. People have been camped out at this.
Yeah, believe it or not, they named their birds. They have names for them. They named, I think, all the ostriches. I mean, part of my youth, I grew up in a farm here in the South. Small, very small, 8 acres. You know. But we had cows. Jenny, we had Stevie Bull. We had one bull, Stevie Bull. We had Jenny. What do we have? We had another cow named Donkey, because she kind of like she was the like kind of odd one out. Not a really good looking cow. Like the redhead stepchild of the family. We had Jenny. We had Donkey. We had a horse. Smokey was his name because he was charcoal color, like blackish charcoal color. Smokey was his name. Yeah, we had Stevie Bull. And we had a couple other cows along the way. And they all had names, as far as I remember. This family, these animals were with them for a long time. They had names for them, and this was their livelihood. And they just come in, and they killed it all. Because they said it had the avian flu. Tested positive. Tested positive, no symptoms, perfectly healthy. 2 out of 300 plus. But go ahead and kill everything. Because that's what these bastards are about. Murder. It's the cult of death. I've had it, man. I'm just done. I'm so over all of this. I see it for what it is. It's like they live. They try to say they're public health officials and they're coming here to help you. But they're coming here to destroy your life, destroy your livelihood, destroy your stock. Just destroy. All in the name of, well, we're here to help you and look out for you, and we're here for safety and health and all that nonsense. Oh yeah, I also covered the screwworm. Remember the screwworm going into cows? Remember that? If you're paying attention, I covered that this year, not too long ago. The screwworm, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember he said about the quaxines, screw your freedom. Remember that? Well, there's a screwworm. Can't just make this up. I guarantee you. I guarantee you this lab created the screwworm. These screwworm flies, lay their larvae in the wombs of animals like, say, cows. Notice how they didn't want us to eat beef. They said, Clown Slob says, you'll eat the beef as a treat. But moreover, by 2030, you'll eat the bugs. Notice how they're pricing us out of beef. No, in particular, out of beef. Notice that. And they said, Clown Slob of the World Economic Forum said, by 2030, beef will be a treat. You won't be able to afford it, but maybe once a year. But you'll eat the bugs. You'll drink Bill Gates, Kermit the Frog. You'll drink, roach milk or maggot milk? Both of those things he was working on, these bitches. Right? As they put up bug factories. They're actually bug factories that are trying to produce bugs and all this for us to eat, because they're gearing up for that. And I don't think it's going to work. We're going to push back big time. But in the meantime, they're pricing us out of beef. Look at the price of fucking beef. $6.99 a pound for 73%. Are you JKing me? Most of that shit, 73% beef, ground beef, when you cook it, the grease turns into fat, and you ain't eating that. You're eating whatever meat's left. Right? So you're not really getting a whole lot of meat at 73%. But that was it used to be so cheap not too long ago. It's all started at the scamdemic. It used to be like $1.99 a pound, maybe $2.99 a pound. No. Well, around there. It was $2.50 a pound, I think, like in 2020, 2021. But that scamdemic, that's when all this shit started to change, and they just jacked up the prices higher, higher and higher and higher. Beef in particular, and now because of screw worm, well, you know, they're not gonna. They're closing down certain ports, I think, at the southern border. So the cows that we would get imported from Mexico are not coming in, and so our already depleted beef supply, which is at a 70-year low, could possibly even be more depleted because we're not getting the imports that we need to compensate for our own lack of production, thanks to the so-called screwworm. Screwworms coming from Mexico. And so we can't allow that in the United States, the cows to come in from Mexico. Therefore, we won't have as much beef coming in to compensate for our lack of beef here in the United States being produced. So it's going to be even higher, the prices, right? Right, because of screwworm. I went over this. Lays its larvae into the wounds. Why would a cow have wounds? That's weird. Into the wounds of the animal, particularly cows, right? And, well, it lays its eggs and burrows into the cow, and, well, you just can't eat that, can you? Can you? Who made the screwworm? Was it Kermit the Frog, Bill Gates? Was it Plum Island? Inquiring minds want to know. But I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this nonsense, constant attacks from on this and that, on us, and you got your fucking UFO invasion they want to do. I mean, come on, man. You serious? In a dark winter, when are they going to pull that off with a grid down? Huh? Who are they going to blame it on? Well, you know. At any rate, that's what I got for you tonight. Just got back from the mountains, and, yeah, gotta settle in. I think we need to address the Muslims. I have addressed it. That they're trying to take over America. I've addressed it. I've touched on that quite a few times. But I need to go balls to the walls on that. I really need to expose them for what they are. I need to rip them a new one. Because you know what? Something is very strange going on. Very strange. I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering why gas stations, everywhere I go, are just ran by either Pakistanis, as Obama would say, Pakistanis, or Indians. Why is that? Why is that? I came across information back in 2020, one freaking article that really hit home on this, and I didn't save it. I figured I could always find it again, and I couldn't. But I have a good idea of remembering of what it said. But I want to talk about that. It might not be the next video, but there's other things too. But this one in particular with the ostriches and other stuff, that bugged me. It should bug you. Don't be a troll out there. I saw a bot just the other night, last night. Had to rip him a new one. Don't be a bot troll. We ain't got time for all that nonsense. Grow the fuck up. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. That's what I got for you. At any rate, I'm out.